Okay, good evening again, everybody. Good evening to everyone tuning in around the country on our live stream. Welcome to DuePoint. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and I'm going to be spending the next 60 minutes or so with you this evening, going through who DuePoint is and what we do. But this evening, we have a special format. This is a format that we do once a month. The format is called Tell All Tuesday. It is the opportunity for us to share with you the stories of the people that get involved in this business. So we will be bringing up 3 different, what we call wealth engineers, that are going to be coming up and sharing their experience of what DuePoint has been for them. So you get a first-hand idea of what people like you and I have experienced of this business. Okay, so let's begin. Like I said, this is DuePoint. This is our head office that you're sitting in, but we're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. They've been around since 1952 in South Africa. They've been very successful, a very reputable business. They're actually owned by another company called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. That's their building in the background. They're actually just down the road from us here in Randburg. And that's their little orange logo. You might recognize it, you might not. They actually don't deal with consumers like you and I. They actually deal with other businesses traditionally. For the first time through DuePoint, they're dealing with the public. That's the FSP number that we operate under, that one that you see there. And you'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all these certificates up on the wall. That's all our credibility. That's the stuff you look at to start forming some trust in this business, because we've got all our FSB licenses on display there. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an investment license. We've got our FSP license on display. Lots of licenses required for the FSB. And then we've got our accreditation with the Direct Selling Association and the Direct Marketing Association. So it's very important, like I said, for us to start building up credibility with the people that come see us. It's a very important part of any proposition where you talk about partnership. It's very important for our audience, for our guests, to start building some trust with this business that potentially you're going to be looking at getting into business with. Okay, so these are the individuals that are involved here at DuePoint, at least the executives and the managers here at DuePoint. The 3 individuals on the far left are all chartered accountants. That's Brendan on the far left there. He's our senior executive. He heads up DuePoint. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly insurance, because him and his family have been involved in insurance all their lives. They're fortunate to have a father that's been involved in insurance for 50 years. Dr. Brian Benfield is a professor of insurance. He taught at Wits for 25 years. He founded Clientele Life in the IFA. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps, and they founded a very successful short-term insurer based down the road called PMD, or Prime Meridian Direct. And we know that business because they do advertising every single day. Millions and millions of rands of advertising. I even have a PMD billboard right outside my window. So I tease Brendan and Stuart because they probably got insurance policies as little boys when they were growing up, and no wonder they became accountants. Then the next accountant is Tim Reynolds. He's on leave at the moment, lucky for him. He's got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for quite a long time. He was working directly with the Board of Executives and the CEO of the First Rand Group, very large banking organization. They own the likes of RMB and FNB. I think they own Discovery Life too. Very large banking group. That's Stacey. Stacey's sitting at the back. She's doing some camera work for us this evening. You can see we operate on a thin budget here. It's because the accountants have got such big salaries in the business. So Stacey really supports Tim in the financial, the auditing, and the regulatory aspects of our business, and she's got a lot of experience with Deloitte and in auditing, both locally as well as abroad. And then the 2 non-accountants, the personality of DuePoint. If you ever want to come speak to any of us, come speak to us first. Never go to the accountants first. Okay, come speak to us. We'll warm you up before you go speak to the accountants, because they'll throw an Excel formula at you. So Jane over here, she's not short, she's just standing very far from the camera. Jane has got a lot of experience. There she is. She's operating our live stream. She's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is fundamental to our business, because this is really the growth strategy of our business, is through direct marketing, referral networking, call it what you will. But Jane brings a lot of that experience. She comes from Yorkshire in the UK, so if you speak to her, it's not that she has a speech impediment, it's just that she's got a Yorkshire accent. And then myself, you can see I'm taller than everybody, better looking than everybody too. Brendan will tell you the opposite. Brendan will tell you the opposite. He'll say, I'm standing on a box. But if you come stand next to me, you'll see that I'm taller than everyone. But I've got a lot of experience in marketing and advertising. I worked primarily in the digital space for most of my working career. Very shortly after school, I tried a stint at Wits studying engineering, but it was far too hard. I decided to jump into the fast life of advertising, and I stayed there for all my life, 20 years. I ran a digital agency for most of that, fairly successfully, but I jumped out of that and jumped into the team here at DuePoint. So this team over here has a mandate. Our mandate is to support the people that join this business, because we can only be successful if our wealth engineers, the people that join this business, are successful and effective. So everything that we do here at DuePoint is to support you in that role. Again, it's a very fundamental step when you start looking at any partnership with a business, because you need to collaborate with your partner. You can't get into a partnership where you're not collaborating, where you don't have a common interest. Okay, so know that we've got your common interests at heart. All right, so how many guests do we have in the room? I'd like to just find out. Show of hands, just a quick show of hands. Don't be nervous. I'm not going to ask you anything else, I promise you. It's not telefun quiz. It's not a quiz show. Just honestly, and you'll be fine. Okay, so welcome to our guests. So I'm always interested in the behavior that drives people to come listen to me, right? I'm not that tall or good looking. So what drives the behavior to come out here on a Tuesday evening when you could be at home watching Generations, your slippers on, maybe even early in bed because it's so cold. I know my house is freezing, so it's a much warmer environment being here. But what drives the behavior? Typically, we like to discuss a few aspects at this stage of the presentation. And unfortunately, they're all negative aspects, right? Because the one thing we talk about is the economy. Anyone happy with the economy at the moment? I really do not need to paint a picture, I think, about the economy, or at least the state of the economy in South Africa, because it's actually dismal at the moment. And it plays out in a number of ways in our lives that we experience directly. Unfortunately, we don't have any control over the environment or the economy. And that's very frustrating, right? Because if it's not good, you certainly want to improve it. But what can we do to improve it? Pretty much nothing. Right? So it's a very frustrating aspect to have to deal with, and some of us might choose not to listen to the radio anymore because it's very negative, or carte blanche will make you immigrate to Australia within about 3 weeks if you watch that. So probably better to tune out of that. But the different ways in which it plays out in our lives is things like unemployment, right? So we've got about 9 million people that are able and willing to work that don't have work. We've got all these matrics coming out of school every year, nearly 1 million matrics coming out of school. And is there work for them when they come out of school? So we've got this rising issue. We see interest rates going up, inflation, food inflation sitting at 11%. And I read a horrible article today about the crisis South Africa has from a food point of view. Do you know that there's 23% of the population that is under food poverty? They're not eating properly, and it leads to all kinds of issues, especially for children. 23%. It's a quarter of our population. Right? So we have all these problems that are exacerbated by the economy. But there's one aspect that we do have control over, unfortunately. Can you see the 4-letter word on the screen? Our favorite word. It's not aish. It's debt. Okay? So debt is obviously something we have control over, because no one forces us to take out debt. Each one of us, and pretty much I can tell you right now, the entire audience has got some form of debt in your lives, right? Some form of debt that you've willingly agreed to. And we're afforded this debt at a very, very early age. Typically, the moment you start earning a salary, or you're offered these different debt instruments. But you are offered savings and investment products too. But South Africans, whether it's a culture thing or I don't know what it is, but we typically engage mostly in debt instruments. South Africans only start looking at investments when they get around to 50 years of age. 50 years of age, that's 10 years before you retire, right? So that's too late. But we'll engage in things like home loans and personal loans, car loans, credit cards, educational loans for the kids, all kinds of debt instruments. You might even have a Woolworths card where you're paying off food you ate at Christmas last year, right? And you're still paying this off. But these are the crazy forms of debt that we get involved in, and it exacerbates our financial position badly, okay? And then we have this other thing that starts heading our way very quickly. If you're in your 20s, you don't really think about it much. When you're in your 30s, you start to think about it a bit more. When you're 40s, you certainly start thinking about it. And when you're in your 50s, you start to panic about it. Do you know what this thing is? It's called retirement, right? Retirement and retrenchment are the same thing. Did you know that? They both have no salary at the end of the month, right? You can think of retirement being this great thing because you don't have to work, but it's actually the same as retrenchment. Both don't afford you an income at the end of it. So this is some data that was published on the Fin24 website late last year. You can see there, fin24.com, 19th of September. Tim was kind enough to send this to me because he wanted to perk me up that day. He must have thought that I was looking a little depressed, so he decided to send me a pretty article like this. And what this article is based on is actually the rising mortality rate, right? So the life expectancy is rising all the time because of health services, technology in the medical fields, all of that. So people being born today are going to live longer than us sitting in the room. So the current mortality rate at the moment is about 74 years old for women. Men die younger. I don't know why. Willingly, you see. But the mortality rate is increasing. There are 4,000 people living in South Africa that are over the age of 100 at the moment. And kids being born today, they reckon they'll live to 100 quite easily. So this has a direct consequence on your retirement planning, right? Because when you do retirement planning, what you're doing is you're trying to hedge your bets. You're actually gambling. You're going into a bet and you're saying, well, this is how much money I need to save, expecting a certain life expectancy, right? So today, if you're dying at 74 and you're retired at 60, you only had to save enough to keep you going. You needed an investment that'll fund you for the next 14 years. But if you're living to 90, now you need an investment that's going to fund you for the next 30 years, right? And if you live to 100, you need 40 years worth of investment. So the article was predicated on the rising mortality rate. So the three figures at the top represent the income that you would derive out of an investment once you had retired. Okay, so we all appreciate that. So we've got 5,000 Rand a month. Anyone want to live on 5,000 Rand a month? No, not really. Okay. 26,000 Rand a month sounds a lot better, right? A little more dignified. And 52,000 Rand sounds great. But let's go back to the small example. Because how many of us are going to be in the position where we've saved R1 million by the time we retire? Because that's what you need. If you want to earn an income out of your investment of 5,000 Rand a month, you need to have R1 million sitting in an account invested somewhere. This is the reality of financial planning for retirement, right? You sit down with a financial advisor. This is exactly what he's going to show you. He's going to ask you, okay, what's your age now? How much are you earning? How much do you need to survive once you retire? And what age do you want to retire at? Very easy calculation for a financial advisor. And he'll say, there you go, you want to earn 5,000 Rand a month, but no one's going to say to the financial advisor, I need 5,000 Rand a month. They're going to say, I need 26,000 Rand a month, right? Because certainly that's not dignified. That article that I read today about poverty and malnutrition and all of that, reckon the average family of 4 need to spend 7,000 Rand a month on groceries just to feed themselves sufficiently. Okay, certainly not dignified. But if you look at this case, to get to this position, so I see a lot of young people in the audience, and that excites me, because you certainly have the opportunity, more so than the rest of us, to change this situation that we all find ourselves in. So you can start saving 800 Rand a month for the next 40 years. Okay, that 800 contribution per month needs to increase by 7% every year, okay, in line with inflation. To get to this position, you need 5 million Rand saved by the time you retire. 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years at a 7% increase annually. Is anyone doing it? Do you want to know how many people get this right in their lifetimes? 2% of South Africans will retire financially independent. So we've got a room of about 140 people. 2, maybe 3 people in this entire room are going to be in a position where they have dignified retirements. The rest of us, what does it mean for the rest of us? Die early. You're going to hope you die early. But certainly that's the case, right? We think about it jokingly now, but imagine yourself getting to the point where your company says we're putting you on early retirement, because they do that in an economy like this. And they say, well, here's your package, and you hope your package is something between $1 million and $5 million. And then what do you do when you can't keep up with your monthly payments? You've got to downgrade your lifestyle. You've got to sell your house, move into a little house, or sell your car, or move in with other family. Start depending on your kids. And you have this generational issue of poverty being handed down generation to generation because no one has bothered to jump out of the cycle that we'll find ourselves in. 2% of us are going to fix this. So what we're going to be discussing tonight is an opportunity for you to get out of the cycle that we find ourselves in. Okay? So out of all this negativity, as an enterprise, a business, we saw an opportunity to build a platform that gives the average South African the opportunity to change their situation. A financial opportunity, right? The person that invited you this evening, that would have been the premise. They would have said to you, do you want to make more money? Maybe they were as blunt as that. I know some people are sneaky and say, do you want free tea and coffee? And then you come, and then they heard you in the room. I promise it'll be worth your while. It'll be the best cup of coffee you've had this year. But that's what we aim to change. So the Dewpoint system was born. We launched it February last year. And we have 3 aspirations for the people that join this business. So we almost, I don't want to call them promises, but we have 3 goals for our wealth engineers. The first one is to become debt-free, because we know how crippling debt is in our lives. Okay, so we want to see you completely debt-free. Think about that for a second, right? I'm not just saying it. I want you to imagine what debt-free actually means in your life, because I know that the majority of South Africans have debt. Like 99% of earning South Africans have got debt. 50% of them are under debt review. That means 50% of the working population is pretty much can't keep up with maintaining their debt levels. They've missed their debit orders for more than 3 months in a row. 50%. The statistics we get from the FSB are absolutely frightening. Okay, so get rid of your debt as quickly as possible is our first goal. The second goal is to start seeing you investing in something that is a true investment. You know, people make the mistake. They think, oh, buying a house is this great investment. It isn't really. Especially if you're bonding it over 20 years. You're paying back the bank 2.5 times the value of the house. You only become debt-free really in 20 years' time, right? So if you take out a bond when you're in your 30s, you actually only become a homeowner when you're in your 50s. And to realize the investment, you have to sell the property. You can't live in your investment, right? Because then you haven't realized anything out of the investment. So then you've got to move out, move into a caravan, sell the house, and now you've got your investment. Right? So our second goal for our wealth engineers is to truly start investing in a real investment. You'll notice the tagline on all our products is reward yourself first. It speaks to that because this monthly cycle that we all find ourselves in is get a salary, right? You get your income paid into your bank account, and what's the first thing that happens? All the debit orders go off to everybody else, right? And most South Africans find themselves in a position where they don't have money at the end of the month. So there's no opportunity for you to fix your situation with regards to your retirement planning or financial planning, right? You don't have any space to move. So we want you to start thinking about this. Start investing in something for yourself. For yourself. Reward yourself first before you reward everyone else. And then the third aspiration kind of happens on its own. We really just want to see our wealth engineers happier. Happier, smiling at the end of the month, not grumpy, right? We're in the middle of the month. You're just about to run out of money. So maybe if you come back next week, you'll look grumpier. But isn't that true? I mean, think about financial stress. Brendan, in his presentation, will always say, money is not everything in life. It isn't. It's 99% of it, though. Right? True financial freedom is what we're going to be speaking about. So how does this business work? Basically, our guests here, you guys have the opportunity of joining Dewpoint. When you join us, you actually contract with us. And when you contract with us, we just want you to go out and do one thing. And that is to build what we call channels of distribution. Okay, and I'll show you what one of those look like. Through these channels of distribution, in other words, through the people that you introduce to us, we'll attempt to place products with these people. And that's basically how this entire business works. Okay, so we're going to go through that. The benefit for the wealth engineer, for you, is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off any quicker. We're all squeezed at the end of every month. An additional income stream allows you to start paying off debt faster. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income. Now, this is an awesome benefit. Really, it is. It's probably the most amazing benefit out of a business like this. There are very few industries or companies that create recurring income for themselves. The business I ran for 20 years didn't create any recurring income. It didn't. My father said to me when I was young, get into business that pays you while you're sleeping. And I didn't know what he meant. I thought he was talking about becoming a stockbroker or investing in shares. I had no idea what he was talking about. But he was talking about creating recurring income. So what is recurring income? It means that the effort that you put into building an asset in 1 month, that asset will pay you on a recurring basis, right? Regardless of your efforts in future. So if you owned a property, not bonded a property, if you owned the property and you rented it out, that would be an example of getting recurring income from the asset. In my business, we couldn't do that, right? It was a digital agency. We had salespeople, we had account managers, we had developers and designers, pretty much in my business. We were all tradespeople. We sold services and time. So for my business to turn a profit, we would have to do a certain amount of sales, do the production, and then invoice it, and hopefully make a profit at the end of the month, right? This is what most people do. Whether you're a hairdresser, a plumber, an electrician, a lawyer, an accountant, we're all in the same boat here. And at the end of every month, I would start at zero again. Every single frickin' 30 days, I would have to repeat, right? Repeat, sell, invoice, repeat, sell, invoice, repeat, sell, invoice. Constantly for 20 years. You would have thought that I would have realized sooner that this business is growing. I realized I was going to be doing this for the rest of my life, till I was 60. I didn't get involved in my own business to have to work until I was 60 without creating any tangible value that would pay me beyond that. I was just in a job, really. And employment is exactly the same thing. So recurring income is an awesome benefit that you get to derive out of a business that's involved in insurance. The power duplication. You get to leverage your time. This, again, is another important point. This is how CEOs pay themselves such big salaries when they're in successful businesses, because they actually leverage all the staff that are working for them, right? They've got the same amount of time as you and I in the day. But what they're doing is they're leveraging all the employees for their benefit. You get to do a similar thing. These channels of distribution that you build are your ability to go out and build teams that you collaborate with. So if you have limited time, which we all have, perhaps an hour a day for DuePoint, but when you start collaborating, when you build a team of, let's say, 10 people beneath you, each contributing an hour a day into this business, now suddenly you have 11 hours being invested into your asset that pays you a recurring income every month. It's completely flexi time, this business. You can choose when to do this business. You can fit it into your schedule. But this is an important point that I make, because it's not a business that you do when you've got spare time. If you want to be successful in this business, you're going to have to sacrifice time. And you'll see, when the wealth engineers, the experienced guys come up onto stage and tell you their stories, you will see one common thread is that they've all committed time to this business. This is not going to happen in the background on its own. It's not a New Year's resolution. We're not yet to lose weight or to stop smoking, right? Because those things you give up after 2 weeks. We're talking about your life here, your retirement, right? I mean, you know, we're talking about serious stuff. We all know South Africa had this terrible drought just more than a year ago, right? It was about a year and a half ago, almost. Do you know that farmer suicides went up 50% after that? That was because people couldn't pay back the money that they had loaned. When farmers lose crops, that's a year of business wiped out. 50% suicides went up. So I said, not a New Year's resolution. We're talking about serious stuff here, okay? No startup capital. There's no registration fees in this business. We don't sign you into a 12-month or a 24-month contract that you can't get out of. It's a very low-risk endeavor. There's no boxes of product that you have to buy to get involved in this business. So we make it very accessible to everybody. There's no qualifications or experience required. Right? We contract you out of that. But from a regulatory point of view, that's something we have to abide by, all the staff here. So Jane and I, we got exams tomorrow. Right? You should feel sorry for us. So I've got to go do financial exams. I'm not an accountant. I never wanted to become an accountant, but now I find myself doing risk management exams. Okay? So you don't have to worry about that either. You get to build an asset. So this, again, is a very important point, because if I propose to you that to get involved in this business, I want your spare time. I want you to sacrifice. Perhaps it's family time, or time watching TV, or getting involved in sport, or with your kids, or whatever it is. That time that I ask you to sacrifice, at least it's going towards investing into an asset that you have ownership over. This flies in the face of employment, because we'll spend our lives, 40, 45 years, working for somebody else. No ownership, no profit share, no control over the business. Yet we do it anyway. In this business, I'm telling you that you've got ownership over this asset that you are building. You can sell it, right? Maybe after 20 years. If you have kids, you can cede it you're them as beneficiaries. You can give it to them if you get too old to do the business. So you have these options in terms of the asset that you've been building. There's no selling involved. Like I said, there's no box of products waiting at reception. Anyone arrived and they thought, where is the products? Where are the products? What are we selling here? Where shampoos, vitamins, milkshakes? What's the product? It was probably the first question that you asked the person that invited you here, right? What are the products? What are they selling? What are we selling? We contract you out of the selling, so there's no selling involved in this business. The nature of our products, because they're financial products, they're intangible. They don't take up space. Like I said, they don't sit in boxes. You don't have to worry about your uncle's bucky parked out that you need to fill to be successful in this business. It doesn't take up space at home. So we make this business as convenient and as simple as possible for people to get involved with. And this is all through building these channels of distribution, okay? And these begin with you. So if you're a guest here this evening and you become a wealth engineer, it begins with you. And all we want you to do is go out and through the word of mouth, just tell people about the DuePoint opportunity. That's all you have to do. If you're successful in that and you get people to join DuePoint and we're able to place a product with them, that's the beginning of your channel of distribution. But the beauty of it is that it harnesses that power of duplication, because those people that you introduce to the business are going to go out and do the same thing. You're now leveraging your time and effort, because how much time and effort did it take to introduce 5 people to this business? The potential of that is what you see on the screen growing here, right? You have the ability to harness this organic growth that takes place because this business is based on referral marketing. So you only know those first 5 people. You don't know anyone else in your business. This is what your entire business is. That's you, the CEO in the middle, and next week there'll be a couple of more dots here. And you're being paid a recurring income for every single dot that you see appear on the screen. This is the net asset value of this asset that you've built, that you have ownership over. So this is the primary behavior here, is to build these channels of distribution. Okay. My disclaimer slide. Take a look at the pretty ballerina's legs. Notice the feet. I dated a ballerina once. Not nice feet. Okay. But this lady is a professional dancer. She must have spent, to become a professional ballet dancer, perhaps 10,000 hours doing ballet. Their feet look like that, right? Because to be successful in anything requires pain, frustration, getting over those hurdles, especially when you're dealing with other people and depending on other people. That can be very rough in its own. So I compare this ballerina to business, because if you've ever had the opportunity of trying to run your own business or start your own business, it's not easy. It's not easy. 95% of new businesses fail in the first 12 months. That's a scary statistic. Fortunately, we've got a platform here with individuals that have got a wealth of experience in this business. They've shown that they're successful in these endeavors. And you have this opportunity to partner with a business like this. But I'm going to warn you now that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I will never promise you success or wealth quickly. It just doesn't exist. Anyone that promises you that is lying to you, because it doesn't exist. People that win the lotto, they lose that money within 24 months. Have you noticed that? They've even done documentaries on it. People in America and Europe, many billions of money, lose it in 24 months. Easy come, easy go. We have to work for this. There's no way around it. You have to sacrifice that time, get through the frustration, work at it, work at it, work at it, with a long-term vision. Don't have short-term expectations out of this business. It'll cause you to give up. We have wealth engineers, they join the business, they give up. They get excited in a presentation like this, they join, and then we don't see them again. Why? I don't know. They're treating it like a New Year's resolution. I'm not sure. But for those of you that are interested in this business, remember that. Bear that in mind, that when you join this business, you need that long-term vision. What do you want this business to do for you in 5 years, or 10 years, or by the time you retire? Have that goal. It'll pull you through the first few months. Okay, so how do we earn here at DuePoint? We pay our wealth engineers what we call a return at the end of every month based on the product that we've placed in their channel. So the base return fee that we pay is R27.50 for every product in your channel, right? There's the first 5 individuals that you introduced to DuePoint successfully. Those people lie on your first point. These are people that you know personally. You've brought them personally into the business. On the first point, we actually pay you double the R27.50. So we pay you R55 for every product every month. Remember, it's recurring income. The second point, these are friends of friends, acquaintances of acquaintances, whatever. These are people that your first point have introduced to the business. They lie on your second point. And on your second point, again, we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month. To the third point, to the fourth point, and you'll start to notice that the multiplier starts reducing, okay? So that goes all the way to the eighth point, but we don't limit you at the eighth point. So from the eighth point onwards, we will pay that 4% of that base return fee, in theory, to infinity, right? So what's important to note is that we don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint, and we don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. The accountability, again, lies with you. So this is the mechanics of the returns. That's fairly straightforward, I think, to understand. The next natural question is obviously, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? After 3 months, or you talk long term, what can I earn after 5 years? Give me an idea. So what we did was the accountants very cleverly went out and built what they call this path to success. And this is based on a growth formula. The growth formula says to you, bring 3 people into the business successfully in the first month. Just 3 in the first month. And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in 2 new people. Okay? So we call it the 3 plus 2 growth formula. So it's 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 for the rest of your days, forever. Okay? And if you can do that, you can expect these sort of numbers. Okay? So after 6 months of some success at DuePoint, you're going to be earning 2,500 Rand a month. Now, always look around the room for reactions. 2,500 Rand a month. I don't see any, shush, we hit the jackpot tonight, or, oh, what am I doing here? Everyone's got poker faces on. But is that a lot? 2,500 Rand after 6 months worth of work? Or is it too little? Mixed responses. But let me give you some context, because we always seem to miss this. I don't know if it's only things that accountants get. I certainly didn't get it. Remember our first aspiration for our wealth engineers. Pay your debt off as quickly as possible, right? I always say it's detrimental. But look at the effect that debt has on you. So here's an example of a person that's got a 1 million Rand bond, right? They went out, they found a lovely townhouse for 1 million Rand, asked the bank for some money because they didn't have the 1 million Rand cash, and they agreed to pay back that 1 million Rand over a term of 20 years. At about 11,500 Rand per month at the current interest rate of prime. Okay, so we all appreciate the bond, how the bond works. They joined DuePoint, and 6 months later they're earning some extra money, 2,500 Rand. What do they do with the money? Buy new shoes, handbag, fancy lunch for your friends, or put it into your debt? Let me show you what happens when you put it into your debt. Remember, pay your debt off faster. You put the 2,500 Rand as an additional payment into your bond. You're going to reduce the term on that bond from 20 years down to 11.5 years. You have nearly halved the term of your bond. Nearly halved the term of your bond with 2,500 Rand on an 11,500 Rand bond repayment. Do you know how much money you save in repayments? Take a guess. Wealth engineers, don't shout out the answer. I know you know the answer. Take a guess how much you earn in repayments that you didn't have to make because of that little 2,500 Rand. You're going to save yourself 1 million Rand. You save yourself 1 million Rand. That's the full value of the asset. That didn't make sense to me. When they first came out, I thought they made a typo, the accountants. I thought it was wrong. I had to go check it. That's how much money you save, right? Instead of waiting until you're 50 before you start engaging in investments because you've only paid your house off when you're in your 50s, you can pay your house off when you're in your 40s. It gives you another 10 years to start contributing more money into your investment for your retirement. This is the planning that we want you to look at, to empower yourselves, to be in the position to even make this choice. After 12 months, you could be earning in excess of 100,000 Rand annually. Remember, this is recurring income. Anyone get a 100,000 Rand bonus this year? Late last year, 100,000 Rand bonus? No one. Hey? No big salespeople in the audience. No directors, no execs. Okay? After 24 months, you're on nearly 30,000 Rand a month. Now, it doesn't matter how much money you're earning. You could be earning 200,000 Rand a month. I offer you an extra 30,000 a month. That's attractive to anybody, right? Now we're talking about real options. Think about, when we go through this process, at what stage you can tell your boss what you really think about him. After 36 months, you're nearly 50,000 Rand a month. You want to look at the bond example again? 5 million Rand bond that you're paying off for 20 years. At the 30-month mark, you're probably earning about 36,000 Rand. You put that as an additional payment into that 5 million Rand bond. You'll pay that house off in less than 7 years. So if you're unfortunate like me and in your 40s already, I give myself 21 years, and I can do this exercise 3 times over, right? I can do the exercise 3 times over. By the time I'm 47, I can pay off my first house. By the time I'm 54, I've paid off a second house. By the time I'm 61, I've paid off a third house. Options. Do I have options now when I'm retired? I own 15 million Rand in property assets by the time I retire. I can stay in the one house and actually use the other 2 assets as a recurring investment, right? So I can rent them out. How much do you get for a 10 million Rand house or 2 5 million Rand houses nowadays? 25, 30,000 a month. So now I've got 60,000 Rand in passive income that are created. Or maybe I don't need the money. Maybe I can sell all 3 houses and buy a beach house for 15 million Rand. Options, right? These are options. Let's see, where are we? After 48 months, close to 70,000 Rand a month. Notice that the income, the return is growing every month. After 60 months, you're on in the region of 1 million Rand annually that you've created for yourself. 1 million Rand annually that you've created for yourself with your flexi time job opportunity. Is 60 months a long time to commit? Remember, this was based on this example that I spoke about. This is based on you bringing 2 new people every single month. 2 new people every month. That's the growth formula. Does it sound too onerous to do? It's 1 every 2 weeks. 1 million Rand after 60 months. But can you be consistent and persistent to get to that position, right? Because we've got wealth engineers, like I said, that join the business, and we don't see them. They don't do anything. They're part of the 0 + 0 growth formula. They are. There's lots of them. And where are they after 60 months? What can they look forward to after 60 months? 0. But we've got wealth engineers that do a lot more than that. They do more than 3 + 2. Because 3 + 2 is purely an example. You can do more than 3 + 2. And on that note, I'll bring up our first wealth engineers, Mike and Vilna. Come up. So Mike and Vilna are from my side of the woods, Kempton Park. The most successful wealth engineers come from that side of the world. Must be the airport. So Mike and Vilna joined the day we launched this business, at the beginning of February. So they've been with us for pretty much our entire time, yeah? You can see their earnings. August 2016, December 2016, May 2017. They've doubled their income every 4 months. What happens if you go ask your boss, not for a 7% raise, 100% raise, and then you do it every 4 months? He'll call security, right? Okay, so Mike, welcome. Vilna, welcome. Tell us about your experience. You've been with us for the entire journey. Tell us everything.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. You know, when we started, we were very hesitant at first. Didn't really have the belief that something could come from this. But if you consider that 2 years ago, you know, I'm already past retirement age, and 2 years ago I was accepted that the day before my funeral would be a working day. But looking at that, I've got new hope. And that is what DuePoint does. It gives us hope. Gives you hope to not just get out of your debt, but to be able to retire. And if you're my age and you past that age that you should have retired already, there's still hope. You can retire. Just put the effort in, stay consistent, and you will get there.
So Mike, you've got a lot of financial background. You will appreciate, if you look at, by December, he's created 5,000 Rand a month in recurring income. If you think back to slide 4, how much of a cash investment did you have to pay yourself 5,000 Rand a month?
Well, I challenge anybody not in network marketing to save a million Rand in 12 months.
Yeah, in 10 months even, right?
Because that is the effect that you get from it.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's equated to a cash investment, and that's often something we forget. You need to equate it, like how quickly can I save 1 million Rand? Well, here you can create a similar cash investment in a lot faster time. right? The first slide said 40 years of saving. 40 years. So Mike, you're still around, you're still with us, you still seem very committed. What keeps you going?
Well, just the idea of that there's a future. There's a future after retirement, that it's not just a case of being retrenched. And my idea of retirement has always been not an age, but a date that you are financially free, whether that be at 25, at 65, at 75, it doesn't matter. You retire once you reach that point where you are financially free. And it is available.
And besides that status of financial freedom, are there any other aspirations that you're looking forward to, that you're working towards?
Oh, many, but the main of those are traveling, being able to see my country, being able to travel abroad. There are so many things that we still want to do, and we're still young enough to do it. So, yes.
Vilna, are you going to tell us anything? Maybe a message to your channel, because this is certainly a business that you don't do in isolation. You don't do this on your own.
No, you don't. You need your partners to help you to build this business. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it. And our partners know that we are there for them. Whenever they need us to help them, we will help them and we will support them. You know, all of us get to the point where you really feel despondent, or as we say in Afrikaans, jy sit op moedvloer se vlakte. There's only one way to there's only one way to pick yourself up, and that is to come and attend a presentation here, and if you can't, watch the live stream or watch the DVD, the video. That's the only way you're going to pick yourself up. And if you run into all of these complaints why people don't want to do the business, go to Show Tools, go and look at Ask Dr. Brendan Penfield. He will tell you what to answer those guys back. Watch that video over and over again until you are familiar with the answer, so that you can handle all these objections that people throw at you. Because you need to be persistent, you need to carry on. And just don't give up, just carry on. You will succeed. We all get the no's, we all get the yeses. You just need to pick them out, that's all. Just think, if it's a no, you're closer to the next yes.
Some sales advice there. Guys, that's great. Thank you for your commitment. And that's certainly the opportunity, is the ability to increase your income every single month. Not begging for a 7% increase annually, which we all do, right, in employment. You hope that your salary is going to remain in line with inflation. You have the ability to do a lot more than that. Okay. So that's the returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Over and above that, we have something called the XP Rewards Program. And the Rewards Program is based on, I like to say, good behavior as a wealth engineer. It's almost an incentive program for us. Brendan describes it as a training program. But basically, this is how it works. You become a wealth engineer, and when you start engaging in typical wealth engineer behavior, which is coming to presentations like this, bringing guests, watching the training, logging into your dashboard, when you do these things, we give you something called XP, which means experience points. It's got absolutely no monetary value. It's an indication of how active you are as a wealth engineer. And when you start gaining and gathering more of this XP, and you start having some success in DuePoint, which is the building of your channel of distribution, we reward you over and above what we're paying you at the end of every month. So this is the XP rewards table. If you, our guests, become wealth engineers this evening, you will have the illustrious title of Rank 0 Wealth Engineers. You'll still be part of the 0 plus 0 formula, right? So everything to work towards, but you can become rank 1 very quickly in this business, because you only need 1,000 XP and you only need 4 products in your channel. And when you get to that stage, we'll be paying you a return at the end of the month, but through the XP Rewards program, we'll give you a bonus on top of that. We'll give you a reward of 55 Rand, okay? So these are all once-off rewards. So when you get to rank 2, you'll see the reward gets bigger. It's 100 Rand, and then there's a 400 Rand reward, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. We give away tools in this program that make you more effective in this business. So here's Patrick and Pumi with their lightning memory stick. It's a great little device. that we had to import. It plugs into everything. So any device, whether it's a tablet or a phone, TV, laptops, computers, that little device plugs into everything. More importantly, it's got all our video collateral on there. So we put all our intro presentations, our training, the interviews, everything goes onto that device. So Patrick and Pumi can show the business opportunity regardless of where they are, which device they have on them, right? Tools to make them more effective. Here's Donnie at rank 7. He received his rank 7 business cards. These are premium business cards that we created for our wealth engineers. They cost us 12,500 Rand to manufacture. There's no printing done in these. These don't get printed. Nothing printed on that. That's gold that gets gilded along the edges and foiled. The logo gets foiled on the front. They're 4 times thicker than any other card. You'll see them in the merchandise cabinet. They look like little blocks of gold sitting there. Why would we give out a tool like that? Because people haven't heard of DuePoint. We don't actually have any brand value outside of this building. So when you approach people and speak to them about this company they've never heard of, they don't give you too much credibility. But you put a 12,500 Rand business card in their hands, a business card that's 20 times more valuable than the one they got from their business, they will take a little more note of what you have to say, right? So these are all tools to benefit you in the growth of these channels. At rank 9, this is a very exciting one, because when you get to rank 9, we will take you and your family on business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip. Not once, but every single year going forward. When you get to rank 9 and beyond, you'll enjoy this international conference with DuePoint every single year. You won't have to look at your bank balance and have a family meeting, decide whether you're going to the Vol Dam or Mshlanga Rocks. Right? That's just the reality of life. We all do that. No one's got other people paying for our holidays. And everyone in this room can get to rank 9. It doesn't stop. There's nothing stopping any individual in this room from getting to rank 9. The wealth engineers that come up are not special individuals. They don't have degrees in human behavior and all these qualifications, and they're superstar salesmen from corporate backgrounds. We've got all kinds of people entering into this business that have success purely through just basic behavior of referring a good business opportunity. So that's why I say this is accessible to everybody. Take a look at where we are going at the end of this year.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Yes and yes is the answer to the two questions at the end. So like I said, this is available to everybody. At rank 11, you get a new car. This is a special car. There's a quality about this car that's unique. It doesn't have a debit order at the end of the month. Quite novel, don't you think? So you can see we are very serious about getting our wealth engineers into a position where they are debt-free. And this is just the beginning. We've got people that have gotten to rank 9 in 5.5 months. 5.5 months. You can take as long as you want. There's no expiry on getting to these ranks. You start at rank 1. If you can get to rank 1, you can do the other ranks. There's nothing different that changes. Nothing. It's just about time and commitment. So we have another benefit for wealth engineers. This is a challenge that we actually issue to our wealth engineers every single month. We call it a wealth quest, that little pink WQ there that you see in the top left corner. And this month's wealth quest is called the Young Guns Wealth Quest. Young enough to know everything. Because if you've dealt with anyone that's young, typically under the age of 30, they know more than everyone else. So what the challenge is to our wealth engineers, if you can get 2 individuals under the age of 30 into your channel successfully and help them qualify, which means you've got to assist them getting 3 wealth engineers themselves each. If you can do that in the month of May, you'll have a large, smart LED TV sitting in your lounge by the end of next month. And that's not to watch Game of Thrones. That's to build your business. All the tools that are part of our XP Rewards program and part of the Wealth Quests are tools to make you build this business more effectively. Okay? So that's the challenge for this month. And on that note, we have Lydia coming up to speak to us. Lydia, welcome. There you go. So it's Lydia's first time up on stage. She's very excited. She comes from a corporate background. She's not scared of big audiences. Lydia, let's look at your numbers. You joined late last year, the 20th of October, at the end of October. You're already a rank 4 wealth engineer. By December, you were earning 385 Rand. My goodness. And then you decided to start working, and you jumped to 5,500 Rand of recurring returns by March. And look at your numbers now, nearly 12,000 Rand in recurring income that you've created for yourself. So again, you think back, what's the cash investment equivalent of creating more than 10,000 Rand? That's 2 million Rand in cash investment equivalent that she's created for herself. So Lydia, I'm sure everyone's excited to know your story, your experience of this business. Think back to the first day that you sat here, like a lot of our guests. Share with us your story.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was the 20th of October and it was payday. And myself and my friend Helen, hi. We were sitting and already stressed about, you know, we haven't even seen what's in our account. We don't even want to see the pay slips because it will be gone by tomorrow morning. So Helen said, but what is it that you can do to actually earn extra income? And Tabi saying, our lead wealth engineer came, and Helen said to her, don't you have a killer idea? We really need money. And she came to us, coming to ask us about the work-related things, and she laughed at us and she said, where are you going after work? We said, home. And she said, you know what? Can you come with me? We said, yes, we'll come with you. We didn't even care where.
That desperate.
We said, as long as it's about money, we'll follow you. Then she said, okay, let's go to Branston. Well, you will follow us. You will follow me. Then we followed her. We came here, and guess who we saw? Our old friend Pumi. And she said to us, why are you guys looking like this? Are you still poor? And I look at her, and she also looked at me, and we're like, what's wrong with Pumi? Pumi, we want money. What's wrong with you?
She's cheeky,
we are
eh?
still poor, we want money. Then she said, okay, go in there, it's already time. Then we went and sat there, and halfway in the presentation, we said to Ntabise, give us application forms, we want to sign now.
Before they run out.
And Ntabise was just laughing at us. And we were so excited, and we know what, we already in our mind, we know what we're going to do. So immediately after that, we went to the room, and they signed us. Here we are today.
Awesome. And it's a real story.
It is a real story. It is a real, you can attest.
And you've had great success. I mean, started out slowly. What has your experience been of actually being in DuePoint, being in the process, working your way to a point in May where we're raising nearly 12,000 rands worth of debitors? And May's not even finished yet. We're still got 10 days
it
left.
hasn't been an easy one. It's been very difficult. But what we told ourselves is that, you know what, when you talk to people and tell them about this opportunity, they won't hit you. Just go ahead and tell them. Whether they take it, whether they listen or they don't. When we say no, we say your loss. We move into the next one. So objections are there. And we still have objections. But it's how you pick up yourself that matters and move on. Yeah, that's what makes me, well, that's what put me where I am now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad for your persistence because it's certainly paying off.
Yes.
And going forward, do you have any aspirations that you hang on to, any goals? I told the audience about having long-term goals to keep yourself motivated in this business.
Okay, I still have a child who's still going to school.
A financial burden at home.
Yes.
Little one.
And she's a girl, and she's very expensive. And I have to pay my bond as soon as possible. I mean, I'm growing old, you can see.
You want to
I
pay it
know I'm
off.
looking young, but
Yeah.
I know I'm looking young, but I'm old, hey. And so, you know, what scared me the most is the fourth slide about retirement.
Yeah.
You know, my parents had to depend on me to survive. And so I don't want to be a burden to my children. So this was just a reality. It was a wake-up call because I never thought of retirement, what I need to retire. I thought, okay, my children have gone to school, they will take care of me, but it's not fair. Yeah, so I can retire happily because I know I've got a business that's going to pay me while I'm sleeping.
Yes. Great. And like I said to Mike and Volner, this success is certainly not built in isolation or on your own. Do you have a message for your team, your channel?
Yo, I've got such a great team. Oh, my friend, Richard in Free State. Oh, Richard and team in Free State, Leon, there's so many of you. You guys are doing very well and working together, building this business. You know, Pumi always says, if you take this business seriously, it will give you serious results. And if you're not working closely with your team, then you're not going to make it in this business. Because you have to motivate them. You're all board of directors in this company, in your own company, although you are the CEO, but you depend on them.
Yeah.
You have to motivate them, you have to encourage them, and make them aware that you together we can achieve so much.
You want to be sitting on the beach with them in Mauritius, don't
Oh,
you?
definitely, everybody in my channel is going.
Good. Okay. Great. Thank you, Lydia. Thanks for all your commitment. You've been wonderful. Keep at it. Mauritius is waiting. Yeah, I love that saying. You want serious results? Got to get serious about your business, right? Not a New Year's resolution. Okay. So this slide basically just illustrates our business model. So I'm going to go over that fairly quickly. On the left is a traditional business model like Prime Meridian down the road, a traditional insurance company, short-term insurer, does a lot of advertising and marketing through traditional marketing channels every day, every month. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this business because we don't do a stitch of marketing or advertising. So that portion of the premium that typical insurance companies spend on client acquisition, we take that portion of the premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards for the work that they do. And that's basically how our business model works. Onto the products. We know they don't fit in boxes. We don't run out of them. They don't smell after you forget about them after a while. We have 3 products. They're all financial products. They all have very different benefit to us. So if you're looking at the products, you can consider taking out one product or all 3 products because the benefits are so different. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product for 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested in your name into a tax-free investment fund. Okay, it's not a notice deposit or a fixed deposit. You can draw that investment out at any stage. On top of that investment, we give you a little bit of insurance. So we give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment and you get killed in a car accident or shot or whatever the case is, we will pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand plus whatever's in that investment. Okay, the investment sits with Sanlam, the biggest investment house in the country. So it's well managed. So this is the first product, Access Wealth investment product. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is purely an insurance product. Okay, for 274 Rand a month, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover products is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18. So we don't profile you from a risk point of view or a health point of view. So anyone over the age of 18 can take out this product. It doesn't change the premium. It doesn't change the benefit. So you can be 80 years old. You can take this product out. The premium and benefits stay the same. Okay. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club. What this product aims to do is save you money on the money that you are spending every month anyway. Okay. So you see the list of suppliers there. For 274 Rand a month, you get to engage with a list of businesses that we've gone to and negotiated discounts with. Okay, so you get to enjoy the discounts with these partners that we have. You'll notice we've got a lot of retailers there. We've got ShopRite Checkers. We are spending a fortune on groceries every month. You can get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers every month. Okay, we've got Eagle Ford. They're new. We've already sold 2 cars through Eagle Ford at discounts you would never have gotten unless you were a Wealth Points Buyers Club member. The Entertainer is a great one because that's got over 1 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers to restaurants, hotels around the world. It's a great, great supplier that we have. So this is a great product. If you're looking for immediate benefit out of the products, this is the product to have. Okay, so those are the 3 products. If you have any questions, I think they're fairly straightforward, but if you have any questions, come speak to me or the other staff that are here this evening. And on that, we have Roelof coming to join us. Mr. Fourie. Sure. Marsha, it's Marsha's birthday today.
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Marsha. Oh. You can see I'm 40, I can't bend down anymore. So welcome.
Thank you.
Roelof, you joined also at the beginning of DuePoint's life, last year, February. April, 4,000 Rand. November, 15,000 Rand. May, 26,000 Rand. And May is not done yet. May is not done yet. So a bit of background on Roelof. He's a very experienced network marketer. He's been doing network marketing for about 25 years. He knows everything about network marketing. And he's been up on stage a couple of times already. And the last time he came up onto stage, he said to us that for the first year, he wasn't really involved. He had joined at the beginning. We had a launch event that Roelof attended, and he joined at the launch event. But both of you decided to hang back a little bit, right? You had other engagements. You were committed to other things. They were running their own business. and you've only really gotten stuck in the last few months. And I'm glad to see that, because that's what you said you would do, and you've certainly stuck to that promise, and we see you nearly every single evening in this business. Do you want to share with the audience, the people that don't know you, what your experience has been up to this point?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be up here to share with you guys and the people out there. I mean, you can't blame us. When we were here, when they launched and we had a look at these guys, who would trust them?
It's talking about the accountants.
It was the biggest mistake we made. And I can say that in all honesty. If we got stuck in from day one, we would have been there with you guys. But it's one of those things, you know, it's water under the bridge. What we're doing now is we've committed the time, we're growing the business, we love every minute. And you know, what they promised on and what they gave us was just so much better than what we saw when they actually launched. And today I can honestly say, there is not one single thing in this business that I would like to change. There's not one single thing in this business that I'm not proud of. You know, when I bring people here, I'm so proud to introduce them to the staff and show them the facilities and say, this is my business. You can have exactly the same thing just being a product owner. Doesn't cost you a single cent extra. You can have that just being a product owner. Where else can you find anything like this? And I mean, it's been a fantastic experience. And you know, like what they say, behind every successful man, there's an extremely tired woman.
Extremely tired. You don't look
A
tired.
very surprised mother-in-law. And yeah, Marshall and myself, we work it as a team. You know, the synergy thing, 1 + 1 doesn't give you 2. When you work together, it gives you 20. So really, if there are any of the spouses out there that think it's the wife's business or it's the husband's business, get stuck in together. Guys, I tell you, the difference that it makes is absolutely amazing. You're going to build a brilliant business if you do it as a team, two together. With that, our team, they're fantastic guys. I mean, you know, Lydia, you were talking about inspiring your team. They inspire me. I tell you, if I'm in a downer, I go into that little group and I see all the messages coming through, and yes, and then you fly. You actually walk that high off the ground. It's amazing. I love you guys. And then you meet the Patricks and the Pumis. They're not even our sponsors. They're not people that brought us into the business. But you can always, they're always there, always happy, and you can walk up to them and they will say, how can we help and how can we assist you? And that's the kind of business that you're in.
Flies in the face of normal employment, hey, when you're
Oh,
fighting
man.
for your job.
I work for the same company that your wife
Yes.
works for. And
Yeah.
I mean, there, you know, the coffee machine, like 6 months before the increase is due, the only thing that they can talk about is their expectancy. What will it be this year? Will it be 7, 17, 20, whatever? And the next 6 months they complain about what they got. And that was their life. It's like every 12
Yeah.
months, the same cycle over and over again. And you know what? After all these years, if you go back there, they're still doing the same thing.
Performance bonuses.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you guys have had an extraordinary month. They've gone from rank 7 to rank 9 in 1 month. 1 month. So we have our rank 9 trophy to present to you guys.
I love this.
So that's your ticket to business class flights every year. International conference annually. And along the way, the rank 8 reward was 20,000 Rand in addition to the return that they created for themselves this month. So again, the accountability lies with the public, right? The accountability lies with you. It really just comes down to the basics and really just committing time to this business. And when I see these guys here every evening, I'm being serious. They are here literally every single evening. And this is the commitment that you need to make. If you want the success, you might not want it. You might want less. And that's perfectly fine. But decide what you want and commit to it. So guys, thank you for your commitment again. Happy birthday again. Thanks so much. Where will it be next month? Right? This is the excitement of this business. Okay, so I remind you of the support. Once you become a wealth engineer, don't disappear into your hole. Lean into the support. Like I said at the beginning of the presentation, our mandate, the staff's mandate here is to support our wealth engineers. And so we've built the facilities for you guys. You can do your own presentations here. You can use our facilities. You can do meetings in the boardrooms that we have. You can use all the free Wi-Fi we have available. Drink all the free tea and coffee. I know it's wonderful. We live stream every single event daily to the entire country so that you are able to leverage your effort in other towns and provinces. You heard Lydia, she was talking to teams in the Free State and here and there and all over the place. And we make that available because of the technology that we've put in place. So lean into the support that we've created. The decision slide. I don't like to spend too much time on the decision slide. I hope that you've already made the decision. But what I want to highlight is that if you are interested in this business opportunity, that you've decided in your mind how this is going to fit into your routine every week. Have you decided that? Have you thought about that? Or have you only got excited about the soft sand in Mauritius that's awaiting you? You need to get excited about rank 1. That's what I want you to get excited about. How are you going to get to rank 1? That's the first step. Be excited about that rank. Not rank 9. You're not there yet. Rank 1. And how you're going to get to rank 1 is the same way you're going to get to rank 9. It's about committing that time every single week. So what is it going to be? Are you going to sacrifice Saturdays for this business? Every night during the week? Sundays? It's up to you. It's up to you. It can fit into your routine. Decide where you want this business to take you. Do not think short term. Please think long term. Think about your family, where you want to be in retirement. Do you really want to get to rank 9 and be able to take your kids to Mauritius every single year for the rest of their lives? They won't know what economy class means on a flight, right? That's a disservice to them. But these are the options that this business is willing to give you if you're willing to make that sacrifice of time. We make joining very easy here. We've got iPads out in the breakout rooms, but if you've got your own smartphone or tablet on you, jump onto the Wi-Fi. The password's up on the wall here. And jump onto our website, click on the big blue apply button. You'll become a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. It's the easiest thing to do. You can start heading towards rank 1 from this evening if you want. You can start working towards it immediately. We've got merchandise. This is certainly not a profit center for us. These are tools to assist you in being effective in this business. So please consider getting business cards. If anyone came up to me and tried to make this business proposition of this awesome business opportunity they're involved in, they should always have business cards, right? Because they'll ask you, do you have your number? Do you have business cards? What's your email address? You want to give them a business card. You want to look professional. It's all about first impressions. The USB stick is very convenient because we have all our videos on that USB stick, so it saves you from using data. You can also plug them into TVs nowadays. You can leave them with friends. It's got our videos on there. That print on the top left represents wealth engineers that are earning at DuePoint, right? So wear it with pride. Once you get to rank 1, go get one of those pins. They're 40 Rand and wear it with pride because it signifies that you're actually one of the wealth engineers that are being successful in this business. And then we've got a pen, USB, this little power block for your phones. Don't ask us for a charger because Jane always says no. Got the notebook, and then we've got new merchandise in the form of a cap. So I haven't seen anyone wearing new caps yet, but they're newly available. Go take a look at them in the merchandise cabinet. So go take a look, and the prices are on the reception table. I remind you, we have a YouTube channel that has got all our videos on there. Every single video we've produced in the last year is on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll notify you when we do new live streams and notifies you when we put up new videos. Okay, very powerful tool. And then we've got a mobile app that you can download once you become a wealth engineer. And that really gives you the ability to run your channel from the palm of your hands because it tells you everything that is going on in your channel. Everything, right? Mike wakes up at 2 in the morning to check his channel when he wakes up in the middle of the night because everything is in real time in this. And we've got wealth engineers that are adding apps in the middle of the night. I don't even know where these people get their time, but I come to work at 6 in the morning and there are new apps from that morning already. Okay? So download that. Guys, we're done. I thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed Tell All Tuesday. The video will be available immediately on YouTube if you want to reference it or use it. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and if you have any questions, come chat to us outside. Thank you.